Lights dim, whispers grow louder, and the air suddenly feels electric because shocking rumors are swirling. And the names at the center of it all are none other than Brandi and Duffey. Fans are buzzing over whispers that a secret link exists between Bry's past love and Duffey's fiancé. And if the speculation proves even half true, the fallout could rock friendships, families, and everything they built in front of the cameras. Imagine sitting in a room where smiles mask suspicion, where laughter carries hidden meaning, and every glance could be covering up a betrayal waiting to be exposed. The whispers suggest connections that were never supposed to see daylight. Threads tying Bry's history directly to Duffey's future. Friends are divided, jaws are dropping, and fans are demanding to know what's really hiding beneath the surface. The word on the street is that behind all the glitter, behind the flashy parties and picture-perfect moments, lies a twist that no one could have predicted. Betrayal, heartbreak, and loyalty are all being questioned as speculation spreads like wildfire. Could it be true that Bry's love life and Duffey's engagement collide in ways that will shatter bonds forever? Or is it just smoke with no fire? Whatever the truth is, one thing is certain. This drama has everyone watching, waiting, and whispering, desperate for the next piece of the puzzle. The night began like any other, laughter echoing, glasses clinking, and friends gathering under the glitter of bright lights. But behind the carefully staged smiles and the glamorous outfits, something darker lingered, a truth so twisted it threatened to change everything. At the center of it all stood Brandi, her energy seemingly calm, but her eyes betraying a storm brewing beneath the surface. And not far from her, Duffey radiated joy, flashing her engagement ring proudly, unaware that shadows from the past were preparing to collide with her bright future. It all started with whispers, quiet at first, the kind of murmurs people brush off as jealousy or idle chatter. But as the night wore on, those whispers grew louder, heavier, impossible to ignore. Fans watching from afar could sense it to something about the way Brandi avoided certain questions. Something about how Duffey's fiancé shifted uncomfortably. Whenever certain topics arose, emotions ran high and tension hung in the air like thick smoke. "Brandi, are you okay?" a friend asked casually, noticing her distraction. She forced a smile, her voice soft. "Yeah, I'm fine, it's just a lot on my mind." But her tone carried weight, and those who knew her best caught the crack beneath the surface. What no one realized yet was that the weight Brandi carried wasn't just about her own life, was about a secret she'd been holding, one that tied her history directly to Duffey's future as Duffey's fiancé mingled through the crowd, laughter spilling from his lips. Bry's gaze followed him, her expression a mix of pain and disbelief. It wasn't just recognition. It was memory. Memories she had buried. Memories she thought would never resurface. Suddenly standing across the room, smiling in a suit, his hand wrapped around Duffey's like a promise he had once made to her. "Don't look at him like that," whispered another friend, pulling Brandi aside. "You're going to draw attention. How can I not?" Brandi whispered back, her voice breaking. "You don't understand. I know him. I knew him before all of this." The words struck like lightning. The friend's eyes widened. "Wait, what are you saying? You mean?" Brandi nodded slowly, her throat tight. "Yes, he was my love. Long before he was her fiancé, he was mine." The revelation sent shockwaves, at least among those who overheard. And in the age of cameras and instant posts, secrets don't stay hidden for long. Within minutes, fans online were piecing together subtle clues, replaying old moments, digging into photos, searching for any sign that Bry's past had once intertwined with Duffey's future. As the whispers spread, Duffey remained blissfully, unaware, basking in the glow of her engagement, flashing her ring for anyone who asked. "I can't wait to start this new chapter," she gushed, her face glowing with joy. But for every smile she gave, Bry's heart sank further. Because she knew what no one else dared to say aloud, that this chapter had already been written once before, only with her name on the cover. The tension only escalated when a relative, emboldened by too many drinks, blurted out at the table, "Ain't it funny how small the world is?" Some people here share more history with Duffey's man than we thought. The laughter that followed was nervous, The kind of sound people make when they sense danger, but pretend everything is fine. Brandi froze, her eyes darting to Duffey's fiancé, who suddenly shifted uncomfortably in his chair, his smile faltering for just a moment. Duffey laughed it off, brushing the comment aside. But deep down, a spark of suspicion lit within her dot. Later in the night, when the crowd thinned and the air grew heavier, Brandi found herself face to face with him. His expression was cautious, almost pleading. "Brandi, not here, not tonight." Her eyes burned, her voice low but sharp. "You thought I'd stay quiet forever? You thought I could stand by and watch you promise her the same things you once promised me?" He exhaled, rubbing his temple. "It's not what you think. It was the past. We've moved on. Please don't ruin this. Don't ruin this," she hissed. "Do. You think this is about me wanting to ruin her happiness? No, this is about honesty. She deserves to know the truth. Everyone does." Unknown to them, a few people nearby overheard enough to sense the weight of their exchange. And like sparks and dry grass, rumors caught fire instantly. "Did you hear that?" one whispered. "She said he promised her the same things. Aren't they saying what I think they're saying?" By the time Duffey re-entered the room, laughter still on her lips, the energy had shifted entirely. Eyes darted between her and Brandi, between her fiancé and the whispered accusations. Fans online wrote frantically, "Oh my God, Brandi looks like she's about to explode, and I swear Duffey's man looks guilty." The tension was so thick it was almost unbearable to watch. Brandi tried to steady herself, her hands trembling as she clutched her glass. She knew this wasn't just about heartbreak, it was about betrayal, about living in a world where people looked at her as strong and loyal, while she quietly carried wounds that no one knew about. And seeing Duffey's joy, knowing it was built on the ashes of promises once made to her, was almost too much to bear. As the night drew closer to its end, the silence between Brandi and Duffey's fiancé grew louder than any words could. And though nothing had been said outright in front of Duffey, yet the storm was building. Fans watching could sense it, hearts racing, waiting for the inevitable moment when the truth would no longer be Containable. The secret twist wasn't just "I" whispered anymore. It was alive, breathing, feeding on every glance, every stumble, every half-finished sentence. And once unleashed, it would change everything forever. The sun had barely risen. Yet, the tension from the night before was still lingering in the air like smoke after a fire. People who had been at the engagement party were already exchanging messages, retelling every moment and adding their own spin to what they saw. Fans online had turned into investigators overnight, replaying clips from the event, zooming into Bry's expressions and analyzing every gesture between Duffey and her fiancé. The whispers were no longer whispers. They had turned into loud discussions. Was there really something between Brandi and him? Or was it all just another layer of reality show exaggeration? Inside her home, Brandi sat by her window, staring blankly. Outside, she hadn't slept. Her mind replaying the look on Duffey's face when she heard those words. "Stop pretending you didn't once look me in the eyes and make me the same promises you're making her now." Brandi wished she could take it back. But at the same time, she felt a strange relief that the truth had finally slipped out. It was like a weight she had been carrying for years had suddenly been lifted. But that weight had landed directly on Duffey's shoulders. Meanwhile, Duffey was pacing her living room, clutching her phone as messages poured in. Her best friend had been calling nonstop, but Duffey couldn't bring herself to answer. The thought that her engagement could already be stained with scandal made her chest tighten. She wanted to scream to demand answers, but a part of her feared what those answers would be. Her fiancé was on the other side of town, running his hand over his head as he sat at a friend's apartment. "Man, this is a mess," he groaned. "They're making it sound worse than it was." His friend looked at him skeptically. Was there something or not? Because from the way Brandi was talking, it didn't sound like she was making it up. "It was years ago," he admitted, his voice low. "Before I even met Duffey, but Brandi, she's still bitter about how it ended. Didn't think it mattered anymore." His friend leaned back, shaking his head. "You should have told Duffey. Now it looks like you were hiding something. And that's always worse. The fiancé buried his face in his hands. He knew the advice was right, but it was too late. The damage was spreading like wildfire, and every second he waited made it harder to control the narrative. By midday, the scandal had grown legs of its own. Entertainment blogs had picked it up, posting headlines like, "Bride drops bomb on Duffey's engagement, and did Duffey's fiancé have a hidden past with her close friend?" Comments flooded the articles with fans choosing sides. Some defended Brandi, saying she was brave for not letting Duffey walk blindly into a future built on half-truths. Others criticized her, accusing her of jealousy and trying to ruin her friend's happiness. Brandi single quotes his phone buzzed with a message from her mother. "Why are you letting this play out like this, Brandi? You need to be careful. People don't forget scandals like this." She closed her eyes, her heart aching. She hadn't wanted her family dragged into this, but she knew the storm was too big now to shield anyone. Later that afternoon, Duffey finally called Brandi. Her voice was sharp, laced with hurt. "Why didn't you tell me before? Brandi had all this time, all these years, and you chose to wait until now." Bry's voice cracked. "I wanted to protect you. I thought if I stayed quiet, if I let it go, you'd never have to deal with the pain I went through. But standing there last night, watching you smile, watching him put that ring on your finger, I couldn't hold it in anymore. It felt like history was repeating itself." There was a long silence. Then Duffey asked the question that had been eating at her. "Do you still have feelings for him?" Brandi hesitated, her heart pounding. "It's not about that. It's about honesty. It's about making sure you know who you're really marrying." The line went quiet again before Duffey whispered, "I don't know if I can trust either of you." She hung up before Brandi could respond, leaving the weight of her words hanging in the air. Meanwhile, Duffey's fiancé was desperately trying to reach her. He left voicemail after voicemail, his tone growing more frantic. "Please, baby, just talk to me. This is being blown out of proportion. Yes, I knew Brandi, but it wasn't what she's making it sound like. I love you, and you're the only one I want. Don't let her twist this." But Duffey wasn't listening. She was scrolling through social media, seeing clips of people replaying Bry's words from the cafe. "Stop pretending you didn't once look me in the eyes and make me the same promises you're making her now." Each replay felt like a knife in her chest. As the evening approached, Duffey decided to confront her fiancé face to face. When he arrived, she wasted no time. "Tell me everything," she demanded. "Every detail. If I have to hear it from you, I want it all." Sighed heavily, sitting down. "It was years ago before you, Brandi, and I dated briefly. Didn't work out and we went our separate ways. I didn't think it mattered anymore because you're the only one I care about now. I didn't tell you because I didn't want to stir up old wounds." Duffey's eyes welled up. "You should have told me. Keeping it from me makes it look like there's something to hide. And now the whole world thinks my engagement is built on lies." He reached for her hand, but she pulled away. "You don't understand how humiliating this is," she continued, her voice breaking. "Everyone is watching. Everyone is talking. And I'm the one left looking like a fool." Their argument grew louder, emotions spilling over. Neighbors could hear the raised voices, and once again, whispers began to spread. By nightfall, fans online were convinced that Duffey had ended things already. Even though nothing official had been said, Brandi, sitting alone at her place, saw the rumors and closed her eyes. She knew she had set off a chain reaction that couldn't be stopped now, but deep down she also knew this was just the beginning of a much bigger storm. The night dragged on with no sign of peace. Duffey sat curled up on her couch, her eyes red from crying, the engagement ring resting loosely in her palm. She kept turning it around, staring at the sparkle, wondering how something that once symbolized her joy now felt like a reminder of betrayal. "How did I end up here?" she whispered to herself. Her phone lit up with calls from friends, family, even her manager, but she ignored them all. She didn't want advice. She wanted the truth, raw and unfiltered. She wasn't sure she had it yet. Across the city, Brandi couldn't sleep either. She paced her living room, clutching her phone, torn between sending a long message to Duffey or leaving her alone. She had already caused enough damage, but silence wasn't helping either. Her best friend, sitting on the couch with a cup of tea, finally spoke up. "Brandi, you've got to decide. Are you trying to protect her or are you trying to protect yourself? Because right now it looks like both." Brandi sat down heavily, running her hands through her hair. "I never wanted this. But he's lying to her. He's painting a pretty picture while sweeping everything else under the rug. If I stay quiet, she ends up hurt down the line. I speak. She hates me now. There's no winning." Her friend shook her head. "You already spoke. The choice is made. Now you just have to live with it." Meanwhile, Duffey's fiancé was spiraling. He hadn't heard from her since their heated exchange, and the silence was eating him alive. He called one of his cousins, ranting into the phone. "They're turning this into a circus." Told her it was nothing, but Brandi won't. Let it die. She wants to ruin everything because she's bitter. The cousin paused before replying. Or maybe she still cares. Either way, bro, you need to fix this before the media buries you. Once they latch onto a scandal, they don't let go. The next morning, the story had exploded even further. Gossip pages were posting side-by-side pictures of Brandi and Duffey's fiancé, digging up old photos from years ago, trying to piece together the timeline of their supposed relationship. Hashtags started trending, and fans were viciously divided. Some demanded Duffey leave him immediately. Others called Brandi a snake for bringing it up now. The family was dragged into it too with strangers, tagging them in comments, asking for statements. Duffey's brother finally called her, his voice stern but concerned. "Sis, you need to get ahead of this. If you stay quiet, they'll write the story for you. People already think you've walked out and that ring picture isn't helping." Duffey sighed, rubbing her temples. "I don't even know what I want yet. How am I supposed to give a statement when I don't have answers myself?" Later that day, she agreed to meet Brandi face to face. This time in private without friends or cameras. They sat across from each other at a small cafe. The tension so thick it was hard to breathe. Duffey broke the silence first. "You could have told me years ago. Why now?" Bry's eyes filled with tears because I saw myself in you. The way he looked at you, the way you trusted him, been there before. "I didn't want you to find out the hard way like I did." Duffey shook her head. "But by doing this, you've already broken that trust. I can't tell if you were protecting me or punishing him." "Both," Brandi admitted softly. "I wanted to protect you, but yes, a part of me wanted him to feel what I felt when he walked away from me like I meant nothing. It destroyed me, Duffey, and I can't watch it happen again." Tears welled up in Duffey's eyes, but her expression hardened. "You may think you're protecting me, but right now, all I feel is betrayal from both of you." She pushed her chair back and walked out, leaving Brandi at the table with her head in her hands. By the evening, fans had already spotted them at the cafe and posted blurry pictures online. Brandi and Duffey seen intense meeting. One blog reported comments poured in, dissecting their body language, speculating whether they were reconciling or ending their friendship for good. As the frenzy continued, Duffey's fiancé decided to fight back. He posted a long message online denying any ongoing connection with Brandi and insisting his relationship with Duffey was his only focus. "The past is the past," he wrote. "I love Duffey and I will do whatever it takes to make things right." But instead of calming the storm, the post added fuel. Fans accused him of dodging the real issue, why he hadn't told Duffey about his past with Brandi in the first place. One comment summed it up. "Love isn't the problem. Lies are." Duffey saw the post and felt a fresh wave of anger. She texted him, "Stop trying to fix this with posts. I don't need the world convinced. I need to be convinced." He never replied, and that silence spoke louder than any statement. Later that night, Duffey was invited to a small gathering with friends, hoping for some distraction. But the moment she walked in, she realized she couldn't escape the whispers. Everyone's eyes followed her, and a friend leaned in to whisper, "We're with you. Whatever you decide." Duffey forced a smile, but inside she felt broken. Brandi, on the other hand, found herself isolated. Friends she thought would stand by her began distancing themselves, afraid of being caught in the middle. One even told her, "Brandi, people think you're jealous that you never got over him. It's making you look bad." Her chest tightened, her voice trembling. But I wasn't lying. Everything I said was true. The friend shrugged helplessly. Truth doesn't always matter when the timing looks like sabotage. As the night grew darker, all three of them, Brandi, Duffey, the fiancé, were in separate places, but united by the same storm. None of them could sleep. None of them could escape the scrutiny. And none of them knew how this would end. What they did know was that the next move had to be made carefully because the world was watching, and one wrong step could shatter everything. Everything. The following morning began with a storm brewing both outside and inside their lives. Dark clouds loomed over the city, almost mirroring the heaviness that had settled between Brandi, Duffey, and the fiancé. The world outside their windows was moving as usual. But inside, their realities were frozen in conflict, heartbreak, and unanswered questions. Duffey scrolled through her phone, her heart pounding faster with every headline she read. Blogs were claiming she had already taken the ring off, that she had walked out for good. Pictures of her bare hand from the night before circulated online, fueling rumors of a breakup. Duffey ends engagement. Read one headline. Fans filled the comments with speculation, some praising her strength, others begging her to forgive him. She tossed the phone aside, clutching a pillow to her chest as tears welled up again in another part of the city. Brandi sat in silence, sipping coffee that had long gone cold. The loneliness of her apartment felt louder than ever. Friends weren't answering her calls, and her family was urging her to lay low. But laying low wasn't fixing anything. Her chest felt heavy with the weight of being the accidental villain in a story she never wanted to write. "They think I'm jealous," she whispered, shaking her head. "They don't know what it felt like when he left me." Her phone buzzed with a notification of video clips circulating online. Someone had captured Duffey storming out of their cafe meeting the previous day. The caption read, "Brandi and Duffey, friendship over." The comments cut deep. "Bri just couldn't let her friend be happy," one user wrote. Another said, "Duffey deserves better friends. She's surrounded by snakes." Brandi closed her eyes, her hands trembling. She never imagined protecting Duffey would turn into destroying her own reputation. Meanwhile, the fiancé was determined to reclaim control. He met with his cousin again, venting his frustrations. "Everyone thinks I'm a liar," he muttered, slamming his hand against the table. "I tried to set the record straight, but they twisted it." Cousin leaned forward. "You can't fix this with posts or denial. You need to sit down with Duffey and prove where your loyalty is. But if there's anything else you're hiding, you need to confess now before she finds out through someone else." The fiancé hesitated, his silence stretching into something heavier than words. His cousin's eyes narrowed. "Don't tell me there's more." Finally, he muttered, "There was more. It wasn't just a short fling. Brandi and we were serious for a while. Thought it was over. Thought it didn't matter anymore. But now it feels like it's all coming back to haunt me." His cousin rubbed his forehead in disbelief. "Then you really messed this up. No wonder Brandi exploded. She felt erased. You acted like she never existed. And now Duffey feels like you lied to her too. Oh man, this isn't just about the past. It's about your honesty now." The fiancé nodded, but his chest burned with regret. He knew he couldn't hide anymore. Not if he wanted any chance of salvaging his future with Duffey. That evening, Duffey agreed to meet him at her brother's house with her family around for support. She walked in with her head held high, but her heart was breaking. Her fiancé stood up immediately, trying to approach her, but her brother stepped between them. "Say what you came to say," her brother demanded coldly. Taking a deep breath, the fiancé began. "I was honest. Should have told you everything from the start. Brandi wasn't just someone I knew casually. She was someone I loved. Once it ended badly, and I didn't want to carry that baggage into what we have. So I kept it from you. That was my mistake. But I swear to you, Duffey, I'm here for you and only you. The past is gone, and I want a future with you." Eyes filled with tears as she listened, She wanted to believe him, but the betrayal cut too deep. You let me celebrate, with her by my side. All while she held memories of you that I didn't know existed. Do you realize how humiliating that is? Her voice cracked, every smile, every toast. It feels tainted now. He stepped closer, his voice desperate. I know I failed you, but please don't let this destroy what we've built. I'll do anything to earn back your trust. Her brother pulled her gently to the side. You don't have to decide. Now, but don't let him talk you into rushing. Think about yourself first. Brandi, hearing about the family meeting through whispers, broke down in tears at home. She wanted to run to Duffey to explain that she never meant for it to explode like this. But she knew showing up uninvited would only make things worse. She texted Duffey instead. I'm sorry for the pain I caused. I hope one day you'll understand why I spoke up. The message went unread. Days passed and the silence between them stretched into an abyss. Fans demanded updates, gossip sites, spun endless theories, and still none of them spoke publicly. Duffey avoided the spotlight. Brandi disappeared from social media, and her fiancé limited his appearances to avoid paparazzi questions. But behind closed doors, the wounds were still raw. Duffey stared at the engagement ring daily, torn between throwing it away and slipping it back on. Her love for him hadn't vanished, but neither had the betrayal. Brandi prayed for forgiveness, but she also braced herself for the possibility that her friendship with Duffey was gone forever, and the fiancé, despite his promises, knew that winning back her trust would take more than words. As the dust begins to settle, one thing has become clear. This saga is far from over. What started as whispers about Bry's past and Duffey's fiancé now unfolded into a storm of emotions, broken trust, and painful revelations that no one can easily walk away from. Friendships have cracked, love has been tested, and fans are left gasping at every turn. Duffey holds the engagement ring in her hands, torn between love and betrayal, not knowing whether to rebuild or walk away. Brandi once trying to protect. Her friend is now branded as the one who ignited the fire. Her intentions questioned at every step. And the fiancé, despite his promises, is struggling under the weight of a truth he tried to bury but could no longer hide. The questions hang heavy. Will Duffey forgive him and move forward? Or will this scandal mark the end of their story before it truly begins? Will Brandi and Duffey's friendship ever recover? Or has the damage crossed the point of no return? And most importantly, can love survive when secrets from the past refuse to stay buried? Fans are divided, emotions are running high, and the family around them is left picking sides in a battle where no one comes out unscathed. And now it's your turn to weigh in. What do you think Duffey should do? Should she give her fiancé another chance or walk away for good? Do you believe Brandi was acting out of love or out of jealousy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear every perspective. Don't forget to hit that like button if you've been following this roller coaster of drama. Subscribe for more explosive updates and ring the bell so you never miss the next shocking twist. This story isn't finished yet, and trust us, you'll want to be here for what comes next. The twist that began with whispers had grown into a storm that none of them could control. The friendships, the engagement, the families, all were caught in the crossfire of secrets that refused to stay buried. And as the world continued to watch, one question remained unanswered. Would love and loyalty survive the truth? Or had too much damage already been done?